Hello everyone. Today we're looking at the problem Design Spreadsheet, which was question 2 in the Biweekly contest 152. So the question reads that a spreadsheet is a grid with 26 columns labeled from A to Z and a given number of rows. And basically this grid is made up of cells. Each cell in the spreadsheet can hold an integer value between 0 and 105. We want to implement the spreadsheet class. So we're going to have a couple different functions here. We're going to have our constructor, which initializes the spreadsheet with 26 columns labeled from A to Z, and the specified number of rows. And initially, all the cells are set to 0. We're also going to have setCell, which takes in the cell and a value, and we're going to set the value of the specified cell. The reference will be in the format AX, so for example, it'll be the column and then whatever row number. So here we'll see A1 means column 1, row 1, B10 means column B, row 10. We're also going to have resetCell, which takes the specified cell and sets it back to 0, then also getValue. So we're going to evaluate a formula in the form of XY, where X and Y are either cell references or integers, right? So X can either be a cell in our spreadsheet or just an integer, and we want to return the computed sum of that formula. Looking at the example here, we'll see that our output is null, 12, null, 16, null, 25, null, 15. So this first 12 is because we're doing get value, but our value is just 5 and 7. So we're not looking at any cells, we're just going to add these up. Then we set A1 to 10, and our next get value is that value there, 10 and 6, so we get 16. Then we're going to set B2 to 15. So then we're going to do B2 and A1, which is going to be 25. Then finally, we do A1 and B2, which is 15. So the first thing you think when you see this problem is that maybe we should just set up the entire spreadsheet. So what would that look like? So we have to do all our cells from A to Z. So for example, we have this column A, this column B, C, D, E, etc., basically all the way up to Z. So we go all the way to Z here. We're also given these rows, right? So we could implement a row here and do row 1, row 2, row 3, and this is a perfectly fine way to do it. We could do this with just this approach. So what we would do is that whenever we are setting a value, say here we have A1 and 10, we basically just find that cell, A1, and we could set 10 there, right? And we could do this with a 2D array. So if we really wanted to, we could do this with a 2D array, and this would be O of 26 times whatever our rows are, right? This would be the amount of space we take up, because we're going to have 26 columns either way, but then we have to have a column for each row, right? So it'll be the number of columns times the number of rows. However, there's a different way to do this. It doesn't even use the rows, right? We don't even have to think about the rows at all. We can actually save a good amount of space and only consider the cells that we care about. So how would we do this? So instead of making a whole 2D array to host this spreadsheet, we can just use a dictionary. So in Python, we have the default dictionary, which is great for this use case. So what that does is that if we look for a value that doesn't exist, it will just give us back 0, which is exactly what we're trying to do in this problem. So really what we can do here is that whenever we have a cell value that we've set to something non-zero, we can keep track of it in a dictionary. And then basically when we do our formula, we could look up the cell. If it's not there, we would just return 0. If it's there, we can return the value. So let's see how this would look like going through the example. So first we'd get 3 rows. Nothing to do here, we're just going to ignore the rows completely. So now what do? Well, our first is a get value call, and we don't actually have to do anything here. What we could do is just compute this formula value. So let's talk about how we actually compute this value. Well, we're always going to get a formula in this format. We're going to get equals x plus y. So we immediately know that we can chop this off, right? We don't care about this equals. It's just something that's going to be included no matter what. So really what we're looking for is the formula from the first index all the way to the end is what we care about. However, we don't know if this x is going to be 1 character long, right? It could just be the letter 1. it could be a formula, it could be A2, it could be A17, it could be A242, right? We have no way of knowing really. So what we could do is just split on this plus sign, right? We know that no matter what, there's going to be a plus sign in between these two different cell values or integer values that were given. So we can also split into two separate parts. So now we're going to split this x, y string into its own distinct variables. So now what do? Well, we still don't know if this is actually an integer or if it's a cell value we have to look up. So what can we do here? Well, there's a little trick in Python we can do with a try. So what we can do is we can try to convert this value to an integer. So we can say, try to convert x, and then if this works, this means that this was an integer the whole time. So we can just take this value here and we can use that in our calculation. Otherwise, if this doesn't work, this means that this is not, whatever x is not an integer, right? So it has to be a cell value. So then we can go and look up our cell, right? And we can do this for both x and y. So then at the end, we're going to get x from this, and then we're going to do the same thing for y. Then at the end, we can just sum up x and y. So really what we're doing is a little string manipulation, a little type coercion to either integers or cell values, and then adding up those values. So here what we've done after all this is just get 12, right? And we have our first null here. Then what we're going to do is we're going to do the set value call. So here you see we want to set A1 to 10. So we can do exactly this. We'll set A1 to 10 in our hash map. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go and get value of A1 plus 6. So we'll do the same thing. We'll say this is our x, so we're going to pull this out, this A1 value. We're going to try to convert it to an integer, but it doesn't work, so we just look it up. So then we come here, we get our 10. And for our y, we're going to go through here, we're going to try to convert it, and it is an integer, so we just get our 16. So we have null here, and then 16. Then we set cell B2 to 15, so we'll do B2 to 15. We do this formula, so we saw A1 already, we know that's 10. Same thing for B2, we look it up here, and we know that we're going to get 25, and so on and so forth. So you can see how we're doing this. We're just keeping track of cell values that we set, and we're going to use those later in our get value calls to look up those cell values that we've recorded before. So what is the time complexity here? So I would say the time complexity is just O of n, with n being the number of calls that we have to make. So looking at our get value, this is going to be constant time, because either we're calculating something here, which is integers, which is going to be constant, or we're looking up values that are already in our hash map, which is also constant. So this get value is O of 1 here. The set is also O of 1. We're just putting this value into a set, right? So this is also O of 1. So really all the operations that we're doing are just going to be constant time. Reset cell as well. We're just going to set A1 back to 0 in this case, and this would also be an O of 1 value. So really we're doing a bunch of constant time operations, and we're just doing n of them. So our time complexity is O of n. Let's look at the code and see exactly how this works. So the first thing we do here is we're going to initialize our class. We're going to set self.cells equal to a default dictionary with a default integer value. Notice that we are not using rows at all. We are completely ignoring it, and we're not setting it in our constructor. Then in our set cell, what we're going to do is just simply take that value and place it in that cell. Reset cell, very similar. We're going to take that cell, and we're going to set its value to 0. Get value is where it gets interesting. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some parsing on that string. So first we're going to cut off that initial equal sign because we don't need it. And then we're going to split what's remaining on the plus sign. So now we have these two distinct variables, x and y. So we're going to try to convert x into an integer. And if not, we're just going to grab its value from the cell. We do the same thing for y. We take y, try to convert it to an integer. If it doesn't work, then we just get that value from the cell. And then finally, we return X and Y. So let's submit and make sure that it works. And it does work. Hope this was helpful and made sense. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.